In December 2018, Grace went on a Tinder date in New Zealand, a date that would be her last. How did a meeting between two strangers end in tragedy? This is the story of Grace Millane, the Tinder date that became a global mystery. Born in Essex, England, Grace was a vibrant, adventurous young woman. She had recently graduated from the University of Lincoln with a degree in advertising and marketing. Grace was passionate about travel and had spent months exploring South America, taking photos and sharing her experiences with family and friends online. New Zealand was the next stop on her adventure, a country she had been excited to visit. On November 20th, 2018, Grace arrived in Auckland, ready to explore its stunning landscapes and meet new people. Like many travelers, Grace used social media and dating apps to meet locals. On December 1st, she matched with a man named Jesse Kempson on Tinder, and they agreed to meet for drinks in Auckland. It seemed like a harmless encounter, a typical first date, but it would soon become clear that this meeting was anything but ordinary. Grace and Jesse met in the heart of Auckland, where they visited a few bars, shared drinks, and spent hours talking. Surveillance cameras showed them walking together, laughing, and seemingly enjoying each other's company. It was a night like any other, just two young people on a casual date. But as the night came to an end, they left the bar and returned to Jesse's apartment. What followed would remain a mystery until the investigation uncovered the disturbing truth. By the next morning, Grace had vanished. When Grace failed to contact her family on December 2nd, her 22nd birthday, concern quickly grew. Her parents knew something was wrong. Grace had always stayed in touch during her travels, so the silence was alarming. They reported her missing, and the New Zealand police launched a nationwide search. The race to find Grace had begun. Investigators started by reviewing surveillance footage from the night Grace went missing. It didn't take long to identify Jesse Kempson as the last person seen with her. He was brought in for questioning, and at first, he appeared calm, telling police that Grace had left his apartment the next morning. But investigators weren't convinced. They began piecing together what happened after the pair left the bar. More CCTV footage revealed that Grace never left Kempson's apartment, contradicting his story. The investigation intensified as police searched for more clues. As investigators dug deeper into Kempson's background, they uncovered unsettling details. He had a history of troubling behavior, and his actions after Grace's disappearance raised immediate red flags. During questioning, Kempson's story began to change, becoming more inconsistent. He claimed that what happened between them that night was consensual, but the evidence suggested otherwise. Police examined his internet search history and found disturbing searches made in the hours following Grace's disappearance. Searches that indicated he was trying to figure out how to dispose of evidence. He had also gone shopping for cleaning supplies, including a suitcase. The timeline and the behavior all pointed to something far more sinister than Kempson initially let on. Police executed a search of his apartment, where they found forensic evidence that confirmed Grace had been there. They also found Grace's belongings, further tying her to the scene. But it wasn't until December 8th, a week after Grace disappeared, that the police made a grim discovery. Her body was found in a suitcase, buried in a remote area outside of Auckland. The police had now gathered enough evidence to piece together the tragic events of that night. Grace had gone back to Kempson's apartment, where things took a dark turn. After the incident, instead of seeking help, Kempson went to great lengths to cover his tracks. He cleaned the apartment, purchased a suitcase, and attempted to dispose of Grace's body in a secluded area. It was a calculated effort to hide what had happened, but the evidence was overwhelming. Kempson's internet searches revealed that he had been researching methods for concealing his actions, and the CCTV footage of him purchasing the suitcase tied him directly to the crime. The timeline of his behavior after Grace's death was clear, and the police built a strong case against him. Grace's family, who had flown to New Zealand during the investigation, were devastated. The news of her death shocked not just her loved ones, but the entire country. This case captured global attention as people struggled to understand how a seemingly normal date could go so horribly wrong. With the mounting evidence, Jesse Kempson was arrested and charged with the murder of Grace Millane. The case was built on the careful work of the New Zealand police, who had painstakingly tracked every movement and uncovered the chilling details of what had happened in the days after Grace's disappearance. Though the trial would eventually convict Kempson, the investigation itself was crucial in bringing justice to Grace's family. The police had uncovered the truth behind Grace's tragic death, exposing the calculated efforts Kempson took to conceal his actions. For many, the investigation was a stark reminder of the potential dangers that can lie beneath the surface of everyday encounters. Grace's story left a lasting impact on New Zealand and the world, sparking discussions about safety, particularly when meeting people online. Her family set up the Grace Millane Foundation in her memory, aiming to help other young travelers stay safe while exploring the world. Grace Millane's life was tragically cut short during what should have been the adventure of a lifetime. Her story is a haunting reminder that danger can sometimes hide in the most unexpected places. Through the hard work of the investigators, the truth came to light, but it is a truth that no family should ever have to face. Grace's legacy lives on, through the foundation her family created and the awareness her story has raised. In the end, Grace Millane will always be remembered not just for how her life ended, but for the vibrant, adventurous spirit she carried throughout her journey. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories.